Welcome to Inside Factory. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more factory processes from around the world. Pepperoni is one of the most beloved sausage products in the world. It sits atop countless pizzas, fills sandwiches, and appears on snack platters everywhere. Its bold, spicy taste and firm texture make it instantly recognizable. While a small butcher shop can make pepperoni by hand, the global demand for this product is far too large for manual methods. Factories step in to produce pepperoni on a massive scale. They use precision machinery and tightly controlled environments to turn raw meat and spices into uniform sticks of pepperoni. The process is a careful balance of traditional recipe knowledge and modern industrial efficiency. The journey of pepperoni begins with the arrival of raw materials at the factory. The main ingredients are pork and beef. These meats arrive in large, refrigerated trucks. The factory keeps the meat cold from the moment it leaves the supplier until the moment it enters production. Cold temperatures prevent bacterial growth and keep the meat firm for processing. Upon arrival, quality control staff take samples from each delivery. They check the fat content, the color, and the freshness. Only meat that passes these inspections moves into the factory's storage coolers. The factory relies on this strict receiving protocol to build quality into the product from the very first step. The meat blocks, or trimmings, wait in large, cold storage rooms. The temperature in these rooms hovers just above freezing. The factory manages the inventory using a first-in, first-out system. Older meat gets used before newer deliveries. This rotation prevents any raw material from sitting too long. The cold storage area is kept extremely clean. Floors drain easily, and walls have smooth surfaces that resist bacterial growth. Workers entering this area wear insulated clothing, hairnets, and sanitized boots. The cold environment is a natural barrier against spoilage. When production begins, the meat moves from the cooler to the processing floor. The first major step is grinding. Large industrial grinders reduce the meat blocks into smaller, uniform pieces. The grinders use sharp, rotating blades and plates with specific hole sizes. The initial grind is typically coarse. This coarse grind gives pepperoni its characteristic texture. The factory controls the temperature during grinding very carefully. The friction of the blades generates heat, which can soften the fat. If the fat smears, the final texture of the pepperoni suffers. Some factories even use chilled carbon dioxide to keep the meat cold during this stage. The goal is a clean, distinct particle of meat and fat. Once the meat is ground to the correct size, it moves to giant mixing machines. The mixer is where pepperoni gains its signature flavor. Workers or automated dispensers add the spice blend to the meat. The spice blend contains salt, paprika, chili pepper, garlic powder, fennel, and other seasonings. Paprika gives pepperoni its deep red color. Chili pepper provides the heat. Salt is critical for flavor and for extracting proteins from the meat. The factory also adds curing agents at this stage. These compounds preserve the meat, prevent harmful bacteria, and fix the red color. The mixer paddles turn slowly, folding the meat and spices together until the mixture is perfectly uniform. Every particle of meat gets coated with the spice blend. The mixing process does more than just distribute spices. The mechanical action of the paddles also extracts proteins from the muscle tissue. These proteins become sticky and form a natural glue. This protein extraction is vital for the next steps. It allows the tiny pieces of ground meat to bind together into a solid, cohesive sausage. Without this step, the pepperoni would crumble when sliced. The factory monitors the mixing time and speed precisely. Too little mixing leads to a weak bind. too much mixing can overheat the meat. The mixer often has a temperature gauge, and the batch stops when the meat reaches a specific target. After mixing, the seasoned meat batter is ready for stuffing. The factory transfers the mixture into large hoppers that feed the stuffing machines. The stuffing machine pushes the meat into a casing. Traditional pepperoni uses natural or collagen casings that give the sausage its familiar cylindrical shape. The factory uses high-speed vacuum stuffers for this job. The vacuum removes any air pockets trapped in the meat. Air pockets would cause defects in the finished product, leaving holes or causing spoilage. The stuffer nozzle fills the casing tightly and evenly. A twisting mechanism turns the long rope of sausage into individual links or leaves it as a long stick, depending on the final product desired. Consistency in diameter is key. Every stick must look identical. The stuffed pepperoni sticks now hang on racks or lay on specialized smoking carts. These carts move into the thermal processing area. Here, the pepperoni undergoes a carefully controlled cycle of heating, smoking, and drying. This is the heart of the pepperoni factory. The process transforms the raw, soft meat into a firm, shelf-stable sausage. Large smokehouses or thermal chambers control every aspect of the environment. The factory operator selects a programmed recipe. The computer controls the temperature, humidity, smoke density, and time. The thermal cycle begins with a drying phase. Gentle heat and low humidity remove surface moisture from the casing. A dry surface prepares the sausage to accept the smoke. Next comes the smoking phase. The factory burns hardwood sawdust or uses liquid smoke atomization. The smoke circulates around the pepperoni sticks, penetrating the casing and depositing flavor compounds on the surface. Smoke not only adds the traditional smoky taste, but also acts as a preservative. The smoke particles create a barrier that slows spoilage and inhibits mold growth. The color of the pepperoni deepens to a rich mahogany red during this stage. After smoking, the temperature inside the chamber rises for the cooking phase. The factory cooks the pepperoni until it reaches a safe internal temperature. This step fully cooks the meat and kills any harmful bacteria. The cooking must be gradual. If the temperature rises too fast, the fat inside the pepperoni can melt and leak out, leaving a dry, shriveled product. The factory control system ensures a slow, steady rise in heat and monitors the internal temperature of sample sticks with probes. Once the pepperoni reaches the target temperature, the cooking stops. The product is now fully cooked and safe to eat. The final stage of thermal processing is the shower or cooling cycle. Cold water sprays over the pepperoni sticks. This stops the cooking process instantly. Rapid cooling prevents the sausage from continuing to cook from residual heat. It also firms up the texture, making the pepperoni easier to slice later. After the water shower, the pepperoni moves into a drying room or equilibration cooler. Here, the sausages rest and dry further. This resting period allows the moisture to distribute evenly throughout the stick and develops the final firm bite. The pepperoni loses a specific amount of weight through moisture loss, which concentrates the flavor. Once the pepperoni sticks finish their thermal journey, they are ready for peeling if they used cellulose or inedible casings. A peeling machine grabs the end of the casing and strips it away cleanly without damaging the surface of the sausage. The naked pepperoni sticks emerge with a smooth, uniform exterior. The peeled sticks move on to the next stage, while the removed casings collect for disposal. Now the factory flows into the slicing and packaging area. Pepperoni is often sold pre-sliced in packages for consumer convenience. The sticks first go through a tempering process. They are chilled to a specific temperature that is ideal for slicing. Too warm and the sausage is too soft. Too cold and the blade may shatter the meat. The chilled sticks feed into high-speed slicers. These machines use circular blades or guillotine-style knives that cut rapidly. The slicers can produce hundreds of uniform slices per minute. The thickness of the slice is adjustable and precisely controlled. Whether the customer wants very thin slices for pizza or thicker slices for snacks, the factory can dial in the exact measurement. The slices fall onto a conveyor belt in neat stacks or shingle patterns. The conveyor moves them under a final inspection point. Workers or optical cameras scan the moving pepperoni for any burnt edges, air bubbles, or misshapen slices. Defective slices blow off the line with a jet of air. The good slices continue towards the packaging machine. The factory strives for zero defects, but consistent inspection ensures that any imperfection gets caught before it reaches a package. Packaging is a race against oxygen. Oxygen causes the fats in pepperoni to go rancid and fades the bright red color. The factory uses modified atmosphere packaging or vacuum sealing to protect the product. The slices enter a chamber where the machine removes the air and replaces it with an inert gas, usually nitrogen. The nitrogen does not react with the meat and keeps the slices fresh for much longer. The machine then seals the plastic film tightly over the slices. The seal must be perfect. A tiny leak would let air in and spoil the package. The sealed packages pass a seal integrity check before moving on. The packaged pepperoni slices then receive a label. The label wrapper applies a pressure-sensitive sticker or prints directly onto the film. The label contains the brand logo, the product name, the weight, the ingredients, and a use-by date. The date code is applied by a laser or inkjet printer. This code is critical for traceability. The factory can trace a package of pepperoni back to the exact batch of spices and the specific delivery of meat. In the event of any problem, the trace code limits the scope of a recall and protects consumers. The labeled packages move to a case packing station. A robotic system or manual packer arranges the packs into cardboard boxes. The boxes close with tape. The factory prints a case label that matches the information on the individual packages inside. The cases then ride a conveyor towards the palletizing robot. The robot lifts each case and stacks them precisely on a wooden pallet. The pattern of the stack is calculated to distribute weight evenly and prevent collapse during transport. A stretch wrapper spirals around the finished pallet, encasing it in a tight plastic cocoon. The secured pallet is stable and weather-resistant. The finished pallets travel to the finished goods warehouse. This warehouse is a cool, dry environment. Pepperoni keeps best when stored at consistent, low temperatures. The factory logistics team coordinates with distribution centers and grocery chains. Trucks arrive at the loading docks on a tight schedule. Forklifts load the pallets into refrigerated trailers. The cold chain must remain unbroken. From the factory freezer to the delivery truck to the supermarket shelf, the pepperoni stays chilled. This constant refrigeration is the final line of defense for the product's shelf life. Throughout the entire factory, sanitation is a constant activity. A meat processing plant must be cleaned to a microscopic level. Production stops at scheduled intervals for full sanitation shifts. Workers use high-pressure foamers and hot water to blast every surface. The stainless steel equipment is designed to be easily dismantled for cleaning. Pipes, hoppers, and blades come apart so workers can reach the interior. The sanitation crew scrubs, rinses, and then applies a sanitizing agent. After cleaning, quality assurance staff swab the equipment and test for any remaining protein or bacteria. The line does not restart until the tests pass. Cleanliness is not just about quality, it is about public health. The factory also manages a massive amount of supporting systems. Large compressors power the pneumatic valves on the stuffing machines. Boilers generate steam for the cooking chambers. Ammonia refrigeration systems keep the coolers and freezers running. The maintenance team keeps these utilities humming. A failure in the refrigeration system can cost thousands of pounds of product. Preventative maintenance schedules track the health of every motor and compressor. The factory monitors its power consumption carefully. Efficient use of energy lowers production costs and helps the environment. The formulation room is where the recipes live. The factory may produce different varieties of pepperoni. There is classic pepperoni, turkey pepperoni, and spicy pepperoni. Each has a unique blend of spices. The formulators weigh the spices in a clean room with precise scales. They document every gram. The spice blends then go to the mixing station in sealed, coded bags. This separation prevents cross-contamination and mistakes. The factory treats the recipe as intellectual property, but the precision is also about consistency. A pepperoni pizza in the middle of winter should taste exactly like one in the summer. The grind size of the meat can change depending on the final texture desired. Some pepperoni has a fine grind for a smoother bite. Other styles use a coarse grind for a more rustic chew. The factory changes the grinding plates to achieve the desired texture. The plate change is a simple mechanical swap, but it completely alters the mouthfeel of the product. The factory production schedule batches similar styles together to reduce the number of changeovers and cleanings. The stuffing process for large diameter sticks uses a special linking machine. For food service pepperoni that goes to pizzerias, the diameter is usually wider. The stuffer pushes the meat into a thick casing. The linking machine loops the sausage into long rings. Workers hang these rings on a smoking stick. The sticks then roll into the smokehouse on overhead rails. The weight of the meat stretches the casing to its limit, creating a perfectly round, dense sausage. This density is important for pizzerias, which need a pepperoni that holds its shape and slices cleanly at high speeds. The smoking process is an art within the science. The factory smokehouse operator monitors the color of the sausage through a viewing window. The color transitions from raw red to a cooked mahogany. The operator can adjust the smoke density by controlling the airflow and the amount of sawdust fed to the smoldering plate. Liquid smoke is more consistent, but natural smoke is often requested for premium lines. The factory may run both types on different lines. Natural smoke produces a visible smoke ring just under the casing. This slightly darker edge is a sign of traditional smoking and appeals to many customers. The cooking step ensures food safety. The factory must hit a specific internal temperature, often mandated by government food safety regulations. The computer records this temperature for every single batch. This data logs automatically and cannot be altered. Inspectors review these logs regularly. The pepperoni is considered fully cooked and ready to eat, which is why it is a popular snack straight out of the bag. The factory guarantees that any pathogen present on the raw meat has been destroyed by the precise application of heat. The cooling shower water is treated and often recycled. The water passes through a chilling system and gets reused for the initial rough cooling. The factory is mindful of water usage. The processing facility aims to minimize waste. The fat and sludge that wash off during cleaning get trapped in a grease interceptor. The rendering service collects this material and turns it into biofuel or animal feed additives. The factory sees waste as a resource that leaves the building. The slicing blade technology is remarkably advanced. The blades are made of high-grade stainless steel. They require sharpening and replacement on a strict schedule. A dull blade tears the meat instead of cutting it. Torn slices look ragged and stick together. The factory microtome-style slicers can adjust the cut thickness down to fractions of a millimeter. The slice count per stack is programmed into the machine logic. The machine counts the slices optically and deposits the exact count onto the film base. This accuracy prevents underfilled packages, which would anger consumers, and overfilled packages, which would cost the factory money. The packaging film itself is a complex material. It is not simple plastic. It consists of multiple layers bonded together. One layer provides a moisture barrier, another provides an oxygen barrier. The outer layer is strong and printable. The inner layer is safe for food contact and seals tightly. The factory buys these films on giant rolls that weigh hundreds of pounds. The roll change on the packaging machine is a delicate operation. The operator splices the new roll to the expiring one without stopping the machine, ensuring continuous production. The metal detector is a critical control point. It sits at the end of the packaging line, just before the case packer. Every single package of pepperoni passes through the magnetic field. The detector can sense fragments of metal smaller than a millimeter. If it detects metal, the line stops instantly and an alarm sounds. A worker removes the rejected package and quarantines it. The factory investigates the source of the metal immediately. It could be a broken blade, a worn bearing, or a dropped bolt. Finding the source prevents a second occurrence. This critical check protects consumers from physical hazards. The factory laboratory conducts microbial testing daily. Technicians blend a sample of pepperoni with a solution and spread it on petri dishes. The dishes incubate for a set number of hours. The technicians then count the colonies of bacteria. The results must be 0 for dangerous pathogens and very low for benign spoilage organisms. The lab also runs chemical tests to check the fat percentage and the salt level. If the sausage is too lean, it will be dry. If it is too salty, it will be unpalatable. The lab acts as the referee, confirming that the production team hit the target. The pepperoni process also produces whole sticks for deli counters. These sticks do not go through the high-speed slicer. Instead, they travel directly from the peeling machine to a flow wrapping station. They are individually wrapped and boxed. The bulk sticks ship to grocery store delis, where associates slice them fresh for customers. This product bypasses the consumer packaging line, but still receives the same rigorous quality checks. The factory implements strict allergen controls. Pepperoni does not typically contain allergens like wheat or dairy in the standard recipe. However, the factory may produce other sausages that do contain cheese or fillers. If so, the pepperoni runs are scheduled first. The line undergoes a full allergen clean before switching back to pepperoni. The segregation of ingredients and the logic of the production schedule protect allergy sufferers. The work environment in the factory is cold and loud. Workers wear layers of warm clothing under their coats. The constant hum of compressors, grinders and conveyors fills the air. The factory provides hearing protection and enforces its use. Ergonomic mats cushion the floors where workers stand for long shifts. Rotating job assignments allow different muscle groups to work throughout the day. The factory values its workers and knows that a healthy team produces a better product. The demand for pepperoni is remarkably steady, driven largely by the pizza industry. The factory runs 24 hours a day during peak periods. The night shift operates under the same bright lights as the day shift. The quality never changes because the machines do the heavy lifting. Automation ensures that a pepperoni made at 3 in the morning is indistinguishable from one made at 3 in the afternoon. The flavor of pepperoni is a result of the fermentation or acidification that occurs during the thermal processing. The drop in pH gives the sausage its tangy note. The factory controls this pH drop by managing the time and temperature in the smokehouse. The tang is a signature flavor compound that consumers associate with traditional pepperoni. The factory replicates this biochemical reaction perfectly in every batch. The casing selection is crucial for the final bite. Natural casings provide a distinctive snap. Collagen casings provide uniformity and cost efficiency. The factory stuffs the meat tight to prevent the casing from separating from the meat during drying. A loose casing creates a wrinkled product and allows air pockets to form. The stuffer pressure sensors feed back to the control panel, keeping the tension constant from the start of a batch to the very end. The drying room after cooking is a slow-motion process. The pepperoni hangs in a controlled atmosphere. The temperature is cool and the humidity is balanced so that the sausage dries from the inside out. The weight loss concentrates the protein and fat. The flavor intensifies. The texture firms up. This drying or equilibration can take days for some styles of pepperoni. The factory manages multiple climate-controlled rooms to keep the production pipeline full. Sticks move from the smokehouse to the dryer and then to the packer in a continuous, slow ballet. The final pepperoni is a triumph of food engineering and tradition. It starts as raw animal protein and ends as a formatted, flavor-loaded cylinder. It is safe, shelf-stable, and undeniably delicious. The factory system is the scrupulous guardian of every gram that rolls off the line. The care taken in temperature monitoring, the rigid sanitation protocols, and the precision of modern slicers and packers deliver a perfect food to millions of customers. The entire process is invisible to the pizza eater, but it is the reason the pizza tastes exactly right every single Friday night. Thanks for watching Inside Factory. Like and subscribe for more factory videos. And leave you with more scenes.